Welcome to the Home Education with Ease podcast. I'm your host, Christine Furman, a homeschool mom, entrepreneur, and educator with over 20 years of experience in the areas of elementary and special education. It's my mission to help you create lifelong learners and embrace a holistic approach to education at home. I'll be sharing practical strategies, inspiration, and resources to support your family. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, a business owner, or balancing work and homeschool, you're in the right place to connect with a community that values education just as much as you do. Join us each week as we ditch the stress, embrace the joy of learning, and set your family up for a lifetime of success. Hey there, everyone. Welcome to episode 66 of Home Education with Ease. I'm your host, Christine Furman, your home education expert. And this week, we have a very special guest with us today. I have my daughter, Ella Furman, joining us today, and we're going to be talking about her journey and her perspective as a homeschool student and how she has enjoyed the process. Maybe what are some of the things that she feels she might be missing out on. And she also just celebrated a milestone birthday. She turned 10 this month in March, and it is just such a special thing to be able to have her on the show this week with us and being able to allow her to share her insight on the educational journey, our homeschool journey, what it's like for her, and insight for families as well of, what are some of the things from a child's perspective that they enjoy the most? And maybe what are some things that they're like, I wish I was doing this instead. So in previous episodes, we've been talking about raising confident learners and how can we set them up for a lifetime of success. And I am just very excited to introduce to you my daughter, Ella Furman. Ella, you want to say hello?
Hello.
Hello. Well, thank you so much for being here. We're just going to talk. We're just going to have a conversation. So you can lean in and we're just going to talk, okay?
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and lean in.
Okay.
Okay. So first, what are some of the things that you enjoy about our homeschooling journey, about even our life that we have?
Um, well, I just like that we get to take breaks when we need them and we can stop if we need to learn a lesson. And I just like everything about it.
You like everything about it? I love that. That's very encouraging for sure. So you said you like to take breaks whenever we need them, right? And that's something that we definitely incorporate into our day. Isn't that right? So we are able to get to a lesson and realize like, okay, you know what? We just need to step outside. We need to go for a walk. We need to get a snack break. We need to just get a drink of water, or I just need to walk around for a minute and do some kind of a movement, right? Do we do that? We do some kind of movement activity sometimes. And then you said we get to spend time on a lesson if we need it, right? So let's say we are learning a lesson and you are just crushing it, right? Can we move on to the next skill? Absolutely, right? All right, I'll let you answer. Sorry. She's shaking her head over here for everyone that's just listening to us and not watching the video. But the other thing is, if you or your brother are not able to grasp a concept or a skill, are we able to slow down until we are able to do it?
Yes.
Yes. And what are some of the things that we do if we don't get the skill right away?
We write it down on our blackboard or we just go over it.
Right? So we sometimes find other videos, right? So even I, as a teacher, I have taught many skills, but sometimes I lean on other resources as well, right? And I say, hey, let's find a YouTube video on it that is going to help us learn it in a different way. Maybe I'm not presenting it in a way that is making sense, right? And sometimes, do you feel frustrated doing some skills?
Sometimes if it can be like if I'm just not getting it and it's just harder.
Yeah, a little challenging,
Mhm.
right? So, what are some of the things that I say to encourage you?
Um, like, just do your best or just keep pushing through it?
Yeah, keep trying it, right? Am I ever going to leave you? Do I ever just walk away and say, oh, go ahead, figure it out yourself?
No.
No, I don't do that. So I think that's a piece of encouragement as well, that we do have the opportunity and we have the time to lean into topics that maybe you or your brother or anyone that's listening don't grasp, right? We can lean in and we can look for other resources, right? And videos or just even other books, other curriculums. We've done that before where I've looked at other resources that I have and I say, oh, you know what? This is how they're explaining it here, right? Or maybe I, as the teacher, just need a minute to reframe and be able to re explain it in a different way. Does that help sometimes?
Yes.
What are some other things that we do? So we write things on the blackboard, we watch videos. Do we get out manipulatives or do games or anything like that? Tell us about a little bit
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, we do stuff like that and getting out
Uh
flashcards
huh.
and just going over it. And if we don't get it right away, then we keep practicing. And I feel
Right.
like that's really helping.
Oh, good. I like that. And I like too that we come up with different games, right? The one I can think of right now is the different types of sentences. And we just quickly made a game out of it. Instead of doing a worksheet, I really try to incorporate some games for you, right? Do those help better? Do you like to write things down? Do you like to do games? Do you like to do all of them together?
I think doing all of them helps because then I can see it from different perspectives.
Very good. That's right. You could. Watching a video of it, you're learning it visually and auditorily. And then, by doing it, you're actually moving the things around and doing the skill that way. And then writing it down, you're just even solidifying it even more. So I really try to incorporate that into all that we do. Right. And I love that we have that flexibility and freedom. Do you agree? Do we have a lot of flexibility and freedom with our schedule?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. And I love that. What are some of the things that we enjoy doing with that flexibility and freedom?
Going to the park in the middle of a school day.
Yes. What else have we done recently that you were like, most people are not going to be able to do this?
Oh, yeah, we had a birthday party in the middle of, like, a school day,
A school
so
day. And they love that. They love doing those kind of things. They love going to the grocery store, and a lot of people always ask you, are you in school? And what do you say?
no, I'm homeschooled.
I'm like, we're homeschooled. And, then I follow up with this is learning. We are learning even right here at the grocery store because you guys are looking at the prices or we're talking about why and what we need while we're at the store and planning out our week, right? We could be doing math, we could do reading. All of that is socialization because we're talking to the people at the grocery store, right? And we do piano during the day. We do some classes. We've done classes during the day and we travel a lot, right? So it allows us to be able to have that flexibility to travel and go to Pittsburgh and see our family and our friends and learn skills while we're up there, right? What is one skill that you've learned while we were in Pittsburgh?
Um, like how to make a campfire
Mhm. I love that.
and what plants are good to eat when you're out in the wild.
I love that. G Dad. We got to give a shout out to G Dad, my dad, right? And he takes you guys on lots of adventures. And I have to give a shout out to my mom, Grammy, because what is something that she's teaching you how to do?
Cooking.
Cooking, sewing, right?
Awesome.
Sewing is the big thing. Mommy cooks here, but I do not sew. So between Grammy and Mummel, which is my mother in law, daddy's mom, right? You guys are learning how to sew. You have learned from then my grandmas. So I have two grandmas. Nana, you have learned how to make gnocchis. Grandma, you've gone out with her. She was teaching you how to sew as well, right? I remember when you were little and you were at grandma's house and she made a fort with you
Oh,
and it
yeah,
was like
I remember that.
camping, right? Inside.
Hmm.
So all of these experiences just continue to build your education and you keep learning and growing every single day. And I, ladies and gentlemen, do not want to cry. Moms and dads, I am going to try not to cry here, but we did just celebrate this milestone birthday of Ella turning 10. And it's a pretty big one, right? It was a pretty big one. Now you are two whole handfuls, double digits. What has everyone told you about double digits?
But you can never go back to being one digit.
Single digits, right?
Single digit.
So when will you get out of the double digits?
When you turn 100.
So I thought that was pretty fun. So some of the other things though that we have been able to do as a homeschool family, one, I love the fact that you have had the desire and interest to start a business, many businesses. For as long as I can remember, you have always had this entrepreneurial drive. And I love even just this past year, for school, it was, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And what did you write down? Do you remember?
I wrote a singer.
Oh, you did write a singer. So she does want to be a singer, right? And you are taking voice lessons for that. But you've also put an entrepreneur like mommy.
Hmm.
And that just warmed my heart so much. And I've just seen you be able to pursue those dreams in many ways. And why and how have you been able to pursue those? First, let's tell everyone, what is the business that you currently have and you are starting?
So it's going to be dog walking and treats and toys. And we posted that in the neighborhood group. And yeah, I think that being able to do that is because I'm homeschooled and because I've learned so many skills that schooling kids would not have learned.
Like what? Give me an example.
Like how to be an entrepreneur and like just how to be independent and confident in yourself.
I love that so much, Ella. One skill that I can think of right now, guys, that I am in awe of Ella is her skills on Canva. So if you don't know what Canva is, it is a platform where you can create, that's where I create all my curriculum and graphics and right. So I've shown Ella how to create on Canva and some of the things that she has created has blown me out of the water because I'm like, wow, that's awesome. So tell them a little bit about some of the things that you've created on Canva.
I've created posters for my business and I've created a little book about dogs. I've created a coloring book. Um, I started working on a dog treat recipe book, and yeah.
I mean, that's impressive to be able to do all of those, you know, different projects within that platform has been really awesome. I've even heard you record some videos, right? So, I mean, as you guys know, most of you may know, obviously we have this podcast, right, which we do audio and video on YouTube. But here's a little thing. Ella has literally been in videos since she was probably 3. We have been making videos for about 7 years of your life. And how do you feel about that?
It feels pretty good because now I know that how to act appropriately and how to like wait until you've started talking and wait until it was my turn to talk
Mm,
and just really, yeah, it
yeah,
feels
like
good.
good. Like you're confident in front of the camera. And now you're able to even record your own videos. And are we going to make mistakes when we record?
Yes, I mean it always happens.
Right. And one, you could just roll with it and just post it. Or two, you could just go with it, right? You could just say, hey, you know what? We had a little hiccup there. We had a little mistake and we're just going to keep rolling with it, right? Because it happens. That's life, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's also very important to know. And I want to ask you this question. What are some of the things that you may think you're missing out on by not going to school?
I don't really think anything. I feel like kids that are schooled are missing out
And why is that?
on everything because a kid is not going to be able to record a podcast with their mom or their dad or just be helping and get a break in the middle of class or just get a drink of water, but I don't think I'm missing out on anything.
I love it. So you don't think you want to get up at, 6 in the morning and jump on a school bus and eat lunch in a cafeteria?
No.
All right. Well, she does not want to do that, which I'm grateful. Honestly, very blessed that we have the opportunity to be able to do what we do, right? It is a blessing for sure. And the opportunity that I have to run my business. And then, yeah, as you were talking about, you help me a lot. So you guys help me with curriculum, you help me with videos. We do our school typically in the morning and we get out our skills, we practice them, right? And then I have the opportunity then to work in the afternoon and then you guys are able to either work independently or help me on tasks, right? And I just love the fact that we get to be together all day. Do you ever
Mhm.
get tired of being with mom?
No.
Oh, I love that answer right there. That makes my heart so happy. And I have to say the exact same thing. I never get tired of being with you and your brother and being home. It really lights me up and just brings me so much joy. So I do love that so much. I want to ask you, Ella, what are some of your favorite springtime activities? So, in the last episode, I shared with everyone some springtime activities that they can do with their kids, ideas, activities, and I would love to know if you have any favorite ones.
Um, I like when it's warm and we can go for a walk whenever we need to. I also like playing outside with our dogs and um just really being outside is really a big thing.
Hmm. And then, what about any crafts or science experiments or anything that we've done with our curriculum that you're like, oh, that was my favorite? Or is there something you want to do this spring?
I think I just like everything that we have in the curriculum. And yeah, I especially like the springtime because there's little baby animals and yeah, and all the flowers are blooming and
Hmm.
I really like that.
We do a lot of outside and science activities, gardening, flowers, bunnies, right? And then we do butterflies as well. Do you remember watching the butterflies from the larva?
Yes, I do.
And then we let them go at the park. Now, this was
Mhm.
in Pittsburgh. We were living in Georgia, but we went up for spring and we released them in Pittsburgh. So that was a fun one. So we may actually do that one again this year because it's exciting to see things happening in real time, right? We can be learning about something, but also experiencing it is really an awesome thing to do as well, right?
Mhm.
So field trips, you like field trips,
Yeah.
going on field trips and watching and seeing what we're doing, right? And learning about any favorite field trips that we've done?
Um, I especially like when we let the butterflies out at the park. That was
Mhm.
cool because then you could watch them flutter away and go and just have a happy life.
That was right. That was a fun one, right? We've done museums, we've done different parks with friends, different hands on things. We did a reptile one. Remember, we did that one last year. So that was a fun one. So many more of those things coming up as we continue. And what is something that you're just excited for the future, for your future, for EduPlay Learning's future, for your schooling? What do you think you want just in general? Anything?
I I just like it and I just want it to keep going and just be more worldwide so that everybody can know about this and have a good education.
I love that so much. And I think you're so right. We do want to continue to spread the word. And what is our big goal?
To have academies all over.
Yes, to have EduPlay Learning Academies. So right now we are virtual, right? And we help families virtually and we do some pop-up events, right? And we used to do them weekly. So maybe we'll get back to doing those weekly. Do we like those?
Yeah, I like this.
Like mommy and me classes, or now that you guys are getting older, because when I started, you guys were toddlers.
Yeah.
So it was about your age. But now that you guys are getting older, maybe some science experiments, history projects, book reports, who knows, right? The possibilities are endless. We got lots of ideas. And that could be all in person, but it also can be virtual, right? Because we help families all over. And then eventually to have some academies.
Hmm.
And what would you love?
I would love for my kids to go to the academy.
I love that so much. So we had a frustrating day one day. I did, right? Mommy had a meltdown and I was like, I'm just done. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to spend all my time with you guys. And, I was just having a bad day. And you said to me, and you even wrote me a note. What did you say?
I was like, please don't shut the business down because then my kids can't go to your academy.
It was the cutest thing ever. It was definitely the encouragement that I needed in that moment. And we all have those moments, right? Where we just feel like everything's too hard, right? You just can't move on. And sometimes you just need a word of encouragement. You need some support, you need some prayers, you need some hugs. You need people to speak life into you and just remind you that you were made for more. And what I love is doing that for you, Bella, right?
Yeah.
Just reminding you that you were made for so much more and that I am just so proud of you and all that you have done and accomplished in your short 10 years. And I cannot wait to see what God does in your life because it is truly, truly a blessing to be your
I
mom.
can feel tears coming on.
It is truly. Well, if you're watching, you see my eyes are definitely getting a little glassy over here, right? Tears are starting. But just to see what you do in this world, to see you continue to learn and grow, because yes, sometimes, tasks are hard. You are more of a what? What do you love? What subject?
I like in school.
Yeah.
I like reading a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorites.
And what's a struggle?
Math.
Math. And why is that?
I have more of a um reading brain more than a mathematic brain.
Mathematical. Yeah.
Mathematic.
And when we lean into that, right, and say, listen, your brain is a more reading brain. And Alex, whenever we have him on the show, he'll be sharing more about his mathematical brain, right? Because he can do math way faster than both of us most of the time, right? Or in a different way, which I actually love because then it shows us that he solved that problem, right? And it's like, well, it doesn't have to be one way to do this problem. And that's actually one thing that I love about homeschooling is to be able to allow you guys, here's the skill. And how did you figure it out? Show me what you know, right? Do I say that to you a lot?
Yeah.
Show me what you know because I want to know, what do you know? And then if it is hard and it is a challenge, how can we break it down in a way that makes sense for you? Right? Because the way it makes sense for you is different than the way it makes sense for your brother, right? Or for anyone else that is doing the curriculum, right? So that is something that we definitely lean into and say, okay, well, you know what? If we need to take out some actual physical items to explain this deeper, let's do that. If we need to find a video, let's do that. If we need to write it on the board, let's do that. So lean into that, moms and dads, lean into the fact that your kids, each individually, are different. They are learning differently. Teach the skills and allow them to show you what they know. And then if they don't understand it, then you can lean in and look for additional resources and other ways. And as always, if you need additional resources or if you need curriculum to meet the needs of your kids, we are always here at EduPlay Learning because that is the mission of it all. It's really to make learning fun, meaningful, and individualized for our kids,
Mhm.
right? Do we do that?
Yes.
Do we make it fun?
Yeah.
We play games? Do we make it meaningful that way whenever we go out into the world, you can take the skills that we've learned and you can apply them?
Yeah.
Mhm. I have seen you and your brother both um solve or understand elapsed time. I think this is probably the one that just blows my mind the most, right? It just astonishes me because I did not sit down with you and really teach you about elapsed time. I remember learning about elapsed time in school and I was so confused. I'm not going to lie. I was so confused. Like, what do you mean? It took her this long to get there and the speed was this long. And right. So I remember doing those problems in school, but I know that I didn't do that with you. And I know that both of you can time manage so well that you guys are normally the ones in the car before I am, right? You're normally ready to go before I am. You are watching the clock, you are paying attention, you are making sure you have enough time to accomplish tasks. And I think right there, that is a huge, huge skill that is going to serve you well for many, many years. Because really, my goal is always to set you up for success. Do you feel that our situation right now is setting you up for success for your life?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Ella, for being here today. Do you want to share anything else?
I think we covered it all.
We covered it all. I just love having you on the show, and I am sure you will be back. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I think so too. Well, everybody, I just want to share with you we have the spring activity kits available, and they are full of over 70 activities for your kids. Okay. There are hands on activities, there's songs, there's crafts, there's stories, there are reading activities, math activities. The perfect ages for the activity kits are ages 2 to 7 because all of those skills are really going to help prepare them. They're all the fundamental skills. So if you've listened to the episodes previous to this, you know that I'm a huge advocate for really making sure our fundamental skills are solid and they start very early, starting at age 2 or younger, even, right? I started talking to you at a very young age, Ella, right? I remember one story. I'll have to share this one last story. At 6 months old, I remember you sitting in your high chair, and we would always have toddler tunes on. Maybe this is why you love music and want to be a singer now, right? But I would always be just singing to you and just talking to you. And I remember making dinner, and the song, If You're Happy and You Know It, came on the TV. And the TV was behind you, right? So it wasn't even like you could see, but it wasn't anything. It was not even, it was just the song that you heard, right? And I look over to you and you started doing the hand motions for this song at 6 months old. And right then and there, I remember just thinking it is so true when everyone says they are watching and absorbing everything around them. You are like a little sponge. You are soaking up all of the information and knowledge from everything around you. And I have seen that in you since you were 6 months old. So I just want to put that encouragement out there that your children are truly watching and listening to everything that you do, and they are soaking it all up. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Yes. So back to the spring activity kits. Now that I got derailed just a little bit, the spring activity kits are full of so many hands on multisensory activities to really get your kids excited and engaged in learning. So they include engaging videos from me and Ella and Alex, right? You guys are in all of the videos. And they also have an activity plan so you can follow. There's an activity kit that comes right to your door with all of the supplies that you need. And you just open that box up and dive into the learning and into the fun. So, what I want to share with you guys is if you are interested in that, make sure you check the show notes below and make sure to be joining us in the Home Education with Ease Facebook group and ask your questions there. If you have questions, obviously you can reach out to me directly via DMs on all social media platforms, but you can also jump in that Facebook group and ask your questions or check out the curriculum that we have because it is a good one, right? Do you agree?
Yes.
Lots of fun, lots of crafts, lots of activities, and lots of fun for everyone. Well, I just want to say again, thank you so much for being here, Miss Ella. Anything else you want to share? One last thing?
Um, I think we got it all.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up with our tagline that we always say on every video. And we're going to say, remember, see each moment as a chance to learn, create, and have fun. Bye, guys. Thank you so much, and we will see you next episode. Thank you for tuning in to the Home Education with Ease podcast. I hope today's episode left you feeling empowered and ready to take the next steps on your home education journey. Your support means the world to me. Please subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend. For even more resources, be sure to join the free Facebook group, Home Education with Ease, and visit eduplaylearning.com to explore programs and subscription kits. You can find the links and any other links mentioned in this episode in the show notes below. Remember, you're not alone. This community is here to support you every step of the way.